What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
Alright, so now that we finally got that Nintendo Direct, we have to talk about Nintendo and GTA 6 again, because I'm still seeing people say that, oh, Nintendo don't care about GTA 6 and they're on their own schedule and blah blah blah. But after that Nintendo Direct, it should be apparent that they indeed, just like everyone else, not just Nintendo, just like everybody else in the industry, they definitely care about GTA 6. So I know that a lot of Nintendo fans, especially the ones that only play on Nintendo systems, because they believe, or most believe, that GTA 6 won't hit the Switch 2, or won't hit the Switch 2 at least at the game's launch, that Nintendo doesn't care about GTA 6. They couldn't care less and all this stuff. And they say this stuff to make themselves feel better. But the reality is, everyone in the game industry cares about this game and how it affects their bottom line. Every single one of them. And this should be painfully obvious after this past E3 style events that have gone on in the last week, because all these major games, none of them coming out near GTA 6. Everything's September this, September. Or stealth announced for stuff. Oh, coming out next week, coming out right now. Nobody wants to come out around GTA 6. And I've seen people in the past say, oh, well, no. That's them. Nintendo's different. Nintendo doesn't care about GTA. They put out a major game right after GTA 5. GTA 5 came out in 2013. Nintendo released Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD 3 days later. And because of that, people say, see? Nintendo doesn't care. They don't care about GTA. They released Zelda 3 days after GTA. First of all, in 2013, Nintendo's game system was the Wii U. The Wii U. Nintendo could not afford to hold off on releasing games for the Wii U in 2013. Second, while no one back then could have possibly known that GTA 5 would sell like 200 million units, the previous game, GTA 4, sold about 28 million units. And that's nothing to sneeze at. But 28 million and 200 million are completely different things. This is nowhere near the same comparison. Nintendo definitely cares about when GTA 6 comes out. And watching that Nintendo Direct should show you exactly that. Because when we look at the upcoming schedule of first-party games coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, it's fairly light. And it may not be light compared to, say, Sony, with their PlayStation 5, where they, barely have any freaking exclusives coming out. That's the norm for them, but that isn't the norm for Nintendo. And you look at the upcoming first-party releases that will be released between now and the end of the year, and it's not that many. We have Star Fox that comes out this month. We have Nintendo Switch Sports Resort that comes out in October. And then we have the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake that comes out this year, presumably this November. Now, first of all, in hindsight, to me, it looks like Star Fox may have actually gotten pushed up. I'm starting to think that actually, with the delay of GTA 6, GTA 6 was originally supposed to come out in May. But it's not. It's coming out in November. It's supposed to come out like the end of May. Now it's coming out in November. Star Fox in June? Right after GTA? I don't think so. I think this game was probably originally supposed to come out maybe in September. And when GTA got delayed, they said, oh, well, we could put this out in the summer. And they put Nintendo Switch Sports Resort in October. Now, and you're probably wondering, like, well, if they're afraid of their sales with GTA 6, why would they put Nintendo Switch Sports Resort at the end of October? Isn't that close to GTA 6? Sure, but it's Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. I can almost guarantee you that this game has been sitting there for a long time. Matter of fact, looking at the game, it probably was a freaking prototype for the Switch 2 controller. This game more than likely could have been out at launch. And they didn't want to put it out at launch because they didn't want niggas asking for it for free. But yeah, I don't think that this game before GTA's delay was actually not only even supposed to come out at this time frame, but it was probably didn't even have a release date. This is probably one of those games that Nintendo just sat on until they needed a game for that spot. And you're probably still wondering, well, okay, even if that's the case, why would they risk putting this game in that spot close to GTA? Well, it's simple. Look at the game. They probably spent the least amount of money and time developing this game than any first-party Switch 2 game. Besides that other, what was that other game that was like $10 or something that launched for Switch 2? That crap that nobody bought. Other than that, look, they didn't spend nothing making this game. So even if it came out and it bombed, and it's still not gonna bomb because it's a Wii Sports, it's a Switch Sports, so it's still gonna do okay. But even if it doesn't do okay, Nintendo is still gonna make out like a fat rat because the research and development that's gone into this game was like probably barely anything. So even if the sales disappoint, they still made a ton of money. Trust me. So they pretty much put this in that spot as the sacrificial lamb. Right? So then you're probably asking yourself, well, Trey, why would Nintendo put Ocarina of Time Remake near the same spot as GTA 6's release? Well, it's because it's Ocarina of Time. Okay? Notice that they didn't put a new game in that spot, an unproven game in that spot. They made sure that that spot was held by their highest rated game of all time. And that matters because when it comes to, it's not just of when and what these game companies want to release, they actually have to negotiate with the retailers for retail space. Now, GTA 6 is expected to sell something crazy like 10 million in the first day or first 24, probably first 48 hours or something crazy like that. Do you realize how much retail space has to be dedicated to stores for that to be possible, right? So then if Nintendo releases a game in that time frame, they have to convince retailers that their game is worth giving up retail space that could go to GTA 6, something that's going to guarantee sell out, in order to put their game there. And something like Ocarina of Time is the type of game that Nintendo could successfully convince retailers of. They're like, why should we dedicate all this space to you instead of GTA? This is going to make us a bunch of money. And they're like, well, it's a Zelda game. It's the highest rated game of all time. It has great graphics, blah, 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 blah. And then so the retailers was like, all right, if they tried that with Star Fox, it wasn't going to happen, okay? So the reason why Star Fox is pitched as a budget title, it's because of the length of the game, and it's also because the last Star Fox game did not sell well at all. So there was no bargaining chips there. But with Ocarina of Time, they have the bargaining chips. They have the backup. They have the pedigree. And you're probably also saying, well, I mean, couldn't that have been like the new Mario game? Or first of all, the new Mario game probably ain't ready to be shown yet. Second, this is Zelda's anniversary, okay? So the end of the year is going to be all about Zelda no matter what. Also, the reason why they probably couldn't really move this title too much, even if they tried, is because they actually have probably contractual obligations and deals with other companies outside of the game industry regarding Zelda. For instance, there's a Zelda movie that's coming out next year. I'm sure that Nintendo and Universal have already worked out marketing and things like that with the movie. And the first trailer for the movie will more than likely be shown by the end of the year, around the same time that this game is coming out, or right before it's coming out. There's for sure going to be some kind of Zelda anniversary direct, and it'll probably have this game and the movie trailer and maybe some other goodies in it. It was too much to try to move this game versus other games, but they definitely care. I think that if Nintendo really did not care or was not concerned with GTA 6, we probably would have had a game that I expected to be released around this October, before the GTA delay in Luigi's Mansion 4. But you notice no announcement of that game, and in its October slot is Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. I mean, even Rockstar appears to be concerned even with its own games relating to GTA 6. I mean, where is Red Dead Redemption 2 Remaster? That is a thing. It is a real thing. It is coming out. And honestly, I would have thought that this game would have been announced and released by now, but it's a no-show. And now it's looking like it may not even come out until after GTA 6. Now, I know there's going to be somebody out there, but Godzilla is coming out at the same month as GTA 6. Why would Nintendo be worried? They even coming out with Godzilla. Yes, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee remake is coming out in November. This is true. But Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee ain't gonna sell 10 million units in a year, let alone a day. It's going to barely have shelf space during that time. And matter of fact, if you want that game physically, you're probably better off pre-ordering it right now, because it's probably going to be somewhat hard to find around that month. The reason why Zelda appears to be the only first-party game from Nintendo releasing around GTA is because it's Zelda's anniversary, and because Nintendo has to have at least one AAA full-price title for the holidays. Period.